Everyone's got a story. You know the kind. The one they don't tell right away. The one that only comes out when the air's gone still and the fire's burned low and everyone's had just a little too much to drink. That kind of story. This one is mine. And I don't tell it to scare people. I don't tell it because it's unbelievable, though it is. I tell it because I'm still trying to understand why I'm here. Why I walked away. Why I was spared when so many others weren't. It happened in late December, just before Christmas. I was making the long drive up from California to my hometown in Oregon. I'd done it dozens of times. A stretch of highway that never changed, bordered by endless pine and thick mountain fog. It was meant to be uneventful. A lonely trip, maybe, but nothing I hadn't done before. Until the storm hit. It came out of nowhere. 1 second, the sky was just overcast, the kind of gray that makes your headlights look useless. The next, snow. Thick, fast, angry. A white curtain dropped over the world. At first, I wasn't worried. I had snow tires. I'd prepped the car. I thought I was being responsible. But the snow didn't let up. It thickened. Heavy. Relentless. Visibility dropped to almost nothing. My wipers fought to keep up, but the windshield was coated in seconds. The mountain road twisted ahead like a snake, and I was blind. I checked my radio clock. 1:21 a.m. I knew I couldn't keep going. There wasn't a town for miles. I'd seen the last sign a while back. 162 miles. That's what it had said. I remember because it felt like a gut punch. I wasn't going to make it that far. Not in this weather. Not in this cold. My fingers were starting to numb despite the heater blasting at full power. I glanced at the dashboard. The heat gauge needle was dancing higher than I liked. I didn't want to risk pushing it too far. If the heater failed out here, I'd freeze. So I made a decision. If I saw a turnoff, any turnoff, I'd take it. Better to ask a stranger for a couch or sleep in a shed than end up frozen in a ditch. I drove for what felt like forever. Nothing. Just snow. Endless white, and the sound of tires grinding over half-iced roads. Then, something. 2 wooden posts, barely visible in the beam of my high beams. Like fence markers, a path between them, leading off into deeper shadow. No sign, no light. I didn't care. I turned. The road was gravel, old and uneven. My tires slipped on patches of ice hidden under the snow. The tree line pressed in tighter on both sides. The kind of trees that looked too old to still be standing, their branches crooked like grasping hands. Then I saw it. A cabin. Dark. Silent. Standing alone like it had grown out of the snow itself. It wasn't decrepit, not exactly. But something about it felt old. Like it hadn't been lived in for a long time. Still, it wasn't falling apart. And in that moment, that was enough. I pulled up under a twisted tree in the yard and killed the engine. The silence that followed felt wrong. Too quiet. Like the world was holding its breath. I threw on my extra jacket, pulled up the half-whole winter mask I always wore around my neck. Thick fabric, leaves only the eyes visible. I tugged it up over my ears and nose, put on my cap, and stepped out into the cold. Immediately, I wished I had gloves. My hands ached the moment they hit the air. I shoved them into my pockets and trudged through snow that reached halfway up my shins. Each step was heavy, like something beneath the snow didn't want me getting closer. I knocked 3 times. The sound barely echoed. No answer. I tried again, louder this time. Hello? I don't mean to intrude, I need a place to wait out the storm." Still nothing. A flicker of doubt crept into my chest. But the cold was cutting deeper. I had to make a choice. I reached for the handle. It was unlocked. I hesitated, then pushed the door open. The hinges barely creaked. The door opened smooth, almost too smooth for something that looked like it hadn't been touched in years. Inside, it was pitch black. My eyes were already adjusted to the dark. But still, the black inside that cabin was deeper, like it had depth, like it could swallow light. I flicked on my phone's flashlight. The beam felt thin, weak, the kind of light that doesn't push back the dark so much as remind you how deep it is. The place was small, maybe 5 rooms total. A living room, small kitchen, washroom, and 2 doors in the back. Bedrooms, probably. The air was stale, dry but not dusty, too clean. Paintings lined the walls, old, framed in cracked wood and faded brass. Harbors, fields, one of a fox hunt, nothing out of place. Then, one. It caught my eye. A family, 4 people, mother, father, a small child, and a teenage girl. They wore clothes that looked antique, Victorian maybe. The kind of thing you'd see in a museum, not a painting hanging in a forgotten cabin. But that wasn't what made me freeze. It was their faces. 3 of them, mother, father, and child, had no features, not like shadows or smudges, like they had been sculpted smooth, eyeless, noseless, mouthless, skin stretched tight over blank skulls. Only the teenage girl had a face, and she was beautiful, pale, still, almost too lifelike. I turned away. The phone battery was dropping fast. I switched it to airplane mode. No signal out here anyway. I moved toward one of the back bedrooms. It was empty. No clothes, no bags, just an old bed, a dresser, and a nightstand. I checked the covers. Dry, cold, but usable. There was a fireplace, but no logs. No heat. The air wasn't freezing, but it wasn't warm either. That mask of mine was doing more than I thought. I climbed in, shoes still on, pulled the blanket up, tugged the mask down over my whole face, set my phone alarm for 4:30 a.m., and tried to sleep. I drifted off, only to wake up to a sound I will never forget. Scratching, software delicate, from the other side of the room, from the closet. At first I didn't move. I thought maybe I'd imagined it, or maybe it was a rat, a raccoon, something normal. But the scratching kept going, long, rhythmic, like fingernails. I pulled the mask just slightly down so I could see through a narrow slit, just enough. My eyes were adjusted. I didn't need much light. The closet door was shut, but the handle, it turned. Slow, careful. Then the door creaked open. A head emerged. Long, dry, cracked, skin stretched over bone. No lips, no eyes, just empty sockets and a skull too thin to be human. Then shoulders. Arms crawling on all 4s. It emerged like something that had lived in that closet forever. It rose. Too tall. Limbs too long. It stood at the foot of the bed and looked directly at me. I didn't breathe. Didn't blink. I think I stopped existing. It stared. And then it spoke. Strange, it whispered, breath like rotting meat. It has no fear of me. It leaned closer. My body screamed to run, but I stayed. I didn't move a single muscle. Maybe it thought I was asleep or dead. Its hand gripped the edge of the bed. Its breath washed over me again. Then it froze. It has no face. Its voice was brittle, shaken. It has no face. It screamed. It has no face. It recoiled, panicked, then crept forward again, bent over me, closer, whispering again. Strange, so strange. Its hand reached for me, inches from my skin. No face! No face! I braced, ready to die. Then, beep, 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 my phone alarm! The creature shrieked like it was burning alive. It recoiled, slammed into the wall. I grabbed my phone, turned on the flashlight, strobe setting, anything. The light hit it like knives. It backed into the closet, hissing, screaming. No face! No face! No face! I slammed the door, locked it. Its voice faded, but not into silence, downward, into the floor. There was a basement. It was trying to pull me down, like it had done to the others. I ran without looking back. When I hit town, I collapsed into a gas station parking lot. Parked, cried, laughed, shook uncontrollably. I told the cashier. His name was Evan. He went pale, said nothing. Then the old couple nearby turned. They had heard, they knew, the cabin had a history. People went in and vanished. No bodies, no leads. Until Evan. His friend had dared to stay there once. They found his body in the basement, torn open, organs removed, face mutilated, alive the whole time. And now, I was the only one to make it out alive. Because I wore a stupid half mask. Because I had a phone with an alarm. It saved me. Now I wear it to bed. Every night. I never sleep near basements. I lock every door. And Samantha, my wife now, she doesn't question it. She just thinks I'm careful. But sometimes, in the quiet, sometimes I wake up at night. The room is still. And from the closet, behind the door, I always keep shut. I hear it, soft, whispered, scratch, no face.